it's very hard for them to interact with new people, and they would, a lot of people would rather avoid going to like parties or other social events that they won't know people there. Like I believe Kat had said with her friend where he just kind of leaves if there's a stranger. Some others report their minds going blank during social situations. So for example, if a teacher was to randomly call on the student, they would just kind of get almost numb and not be able to articulate what they were thinking of, just purely due to the anxiety that they were feeling during the social situation, and not based off of whether they knew the material or not. There's also excessive fear of being teased and or criticized, and that is kind of more of a motivation for the social anxiety. Has anyone ever seen anyone with these symptoms, or even have others that are there that I may not have mentioned?
Maybe looking down, like when people try to talk to them?
Yeah, so that's also...
Also, during one of our speech classes, say you usually see a lot of people like go afraid to speak. So tend to look down, or like just to look away, something outside of the blank.
Yeah, that like that lack of ability or desire to maintain eye contact with someone. Obviously it's hard in like a classroom situation to kind of look over at everyone, but just in general, like you were saying, when they had that public speaking and they were looking down, and it was difficult for them to have that like center of attention.
Nicole's blue is like wringing your hands or just like fidgeting a lot.
Yeah, that's another one. Like you're saying, the fidgeting, a lot of unconscious motions, and we're also going to talk about it a little bit later into the presentation. There's obviously a difference between being shy and experiencing these common symptoms of anxiousness. You know, like whether it's like flipping your hair when you speak. Some people just kind of have that habit. You know, compared to having these like all the time, like you were saying, just wringing your hands and just having that difficulty just to express a sentence or two. So for physical signs and symptoms, it's a bit more with what we were saying, which actually was avoiding the eye contact. That it's hard for them to kind of maintain that that setting where like where the eye contact, like the attention is solely on them. Oftentimes, if they are speaking, there might be trembling, whether it's a vocal tremble, so their voice is kind of going up and down in pitch and things like that, or even physical trembling, like with hands shaking and things like that. There's also dry mouth, which is also a symptom of anxiety, is to have kind of like a dry mouth from that fight or flight reaction that's going on inside of you. So someone also with social anxiety and anxiety might have stomach problems. They might just feel like literally sick to their stomach, like nausea and or vomiting, just because they're thinking so much about what is making them anxious that it also increases their anxiety, and it increases them being anxious. Someone also with anxiety would have things like heartburn, just because, I don't know if you guys ever felt that before, that almost like for any situation, you know, you kind of feel like your stomach like almost like leak a little bit, like that like burning in your throat. I see someone nodding, so they feel that, like, you know what I'm talking about. So you would have those kind of symptoms in just social situations, or you're thinking about social situations, just specifically regarding that. There's also like a heart pounding or anything kind of with their heart, that the heart rate increases in regards to when they're thinking about social situations or the social problems that they could be having. Like I said, it's part of that fight or flight response kind of them to do. So, there obviously, local trackings are obviously affected by that as well. And something that I actually found very interesting, was that there's sometimes a walk disturbance, that they're kind of becoming so preoccupied with, worry when they're walking that they can even lose balance. So like if they're standing in their seat to walk to the door, they, can even kind of like trip over themselves, like they're not kind of paying attention to like the automatic response to walking, like they're just experiencing so much anxiety. So some research that I found from the American Psychological Association, and a social, anxiety disorder, I think it's an organization on that board website, is that the biological factors related to social anxiety, this is a statistic I actually found, more surprising, is that females are more likely to get social anxiety than males, which I found to be a little bit interesting because, typically, women are, they talk a little bit more than men, they have those, women seem to have more like finite, set of friends, like, cliques and things like that. So I found that to be very, interesting that females are more likely to get social anxiety than men, seeing as, typically women socialize differently than men. Serotonin, a neurotransmitter, has also been linked to those with social anxiety disorder. Serotonin, like anxiety, it often has higher levels in someone with anxiety, so it also would have higher levels with someone with social anxiety. So it is linked to like social problems or anxiety-like problems. Additionally, the amygdala is often overactive in those with social anxiety disorder. So does everyone know what the amygdala is?
Part of the brain.
Yeah.
It's like the fight or flight part of your brain, so if you're in danger, it'll activate.
Yep.
Doesn't it regulate like the emotional responses?
Yes. Like everyone was talking about, it does help to regulate the emotional response. It is located kind of towards the center of your brain. It's about the size of an almond, and it kind of gauges how you would behave socially. So if you're with a group of people, if someone tells you some bad news, like for example, I just bombed the midterm. So everyone's kind of sitting here and even though you didn't bomb the midterm, you're kind of just like, ouch, I feel that pain for you, oh, that kind of stinks. So that reaction that you have to hearing something or seeing something or things like that, it comes from your amygdala. It helps a little bit with that emotion, like to help process your emotions, to help even a little bit understanding other people's emotions and things like that. The reason that I thought it was interesting that it's overactive is that it might be stemming to having a bit of emotions concerning a situation. I thought that was very interesting that the amygdala is a bit overactive with social anxiety concerning emotions about a social situation and things like that.
Thank you, sorry.
So for situations for those with social anxiety disorder, or sometimes labeled as SAD, may find uncomfortable. Does anyone want to maybe say what they think might be uncomfortable for someone with social anxiety disorder?
Flashlight.
Yeah, last
I don't know, just making an order for your food.
Yeah, even though it sounds simple to us, calling or even like writing online or in the kiosk, a lot of fast food restaurants have kiosks now and stuff like that. That's really, well, the kiosk would be kind of beneficial for them in the fact that they could for me like an interview for a job that you're looking for, because we all need to work, we all want to work at a certain place, that's very stressful for anyone, but especially for someone with social anxiety, because they in general feel their whole responses are being judged. So in a situation where they actually are being judged, like an interview, that's very, very intense for them. Anyone have any more? These are great examples, guys.
Maybe like taking public transportation?
Yeah, the public transportation is a big one too, because so many strangers around you, and sometimes we all know how New York transportation can get. Sometimes strangers are talkative and scary, so, you know, they would be dealing with that too. So, things like that.
I have a question. What's the difference between social anxiety and just feeling anxious because there's so many people around you?
Yeah, so I'm actually about to talk about it in a slide or two. I did compare it to a bit with shyness, and there's another clip on YouTube where we're comparing it to a little bit with shyness, because there is that stigma of a lot of people saying, well, where does social anxiety start and where does shyness end? Because like I'm saying, a lot of these are very common and common and understandable phobias, such as, oh, for example, me, I'm a small girl and I'm riding a train and there's a bunch of strangers and I have, you know, a bag with me with valuables in it. It's understandable that, oh, I'm a little scared of maybe going on a train or walking around late at night, things like that. So some of those are things that are understandable, but it's more to the point that if my friends and I are going to go out to the city and I have people around me and, you know, I'm going out in like the afternoon, if I'm still upset with, you know, just strangers still being around me, and I feel that a stranger is, you know, judging me for no confounding reason, it's more of the fact that I still would get anxious on public transportation in safe situations with friends and things like that. So it's more of the things that are less difficult to phrase, things that are more a little less understandable, if you will. That you know, were just it's also more of like kind of a constant dread that someone with social anxiety would feel, compared to like shyness or anxiety. Anxiety also would be a lot of disorders in the American Psychological Association are comorbid, meaning that they can go with each other. While social anxiety disorder obviously has the word anxiety in it, so there's obviously a bit of anxiety. It doesn't pertain mostly to social situations. And like I said, it would be something that, you know, I'm scared and paranoid of public transportation, or I'm scared and paranoid of talking in class. But the second I go home and I'm with my family and I'm watching Netflix and everything like that, I'm fine, I'm having no panic attacks, and everything is kind of normal for me. But so with anxiety, you know, maybe while watching Netflix, they just start to get anxious, whether it be about schoolwork or whether it be about the episode they're watching or things like that. They would still feel maybe a panic attack just for anxiety. And then, does anyone have any questions, or maybe someone want to ask the situations that people with social anxiety disorder may find uncomfortable?
I think talking on the phone,
Yeah.
because you will put the phone altogether.
Yeah.
Even for important things like a doctor appointment versus just talking to a friend, it's not worth it. So you
Yeah.
just won't talk on the phone.
Yeah, and honestly, if you think about it, a lot of our how we are right now is with texting. You don't necessarily need to call your friend if you want to talk to them. You can have a whole conversation with them by text message. You don't even have to open your mouth. So for things that, like a doctor's appointment, you know, like I said, for someone with social anxiety, when meeting strangers is hard and that you're being judged is hard, calling someone up and saying, well, can I have this appointment, and things like that, vocalizing what they need it for, etc. It's kind of hard and difficult that they have those two fears at once, that they might be judged for something and they're talking to a stranger. So especially with like saying calling, for like a doctor's appointment, calling for an interview, anything like that, would be very difficult for them. So, these are just the general, situations with people with social anxiety might find difficult, that we talked about. Being introduced to new people, would be very difficult. So just even in passing, if you're with one person at the grocery store and you see another friend, most people just say, hey, this is my friend Bob, hey, this is my friend Jane, and most people are like, oh, hi, how are you? So for someone with social anxiety, that's still very difficult for them. Like, to just like I said, meet in a normal context, normal situation, that's difficult for them. Talking to new people is obviously especially very hard for them because just merely being introduced to a new person is upsetting for them, and they think that they're going to be judged just by the way they say hello. It must be rather difficult for them to say, well, hi, how are you, and talk about how they're doing. Something I also found interesting was moving around a room that is already settled. So for example, for you guys with the presentation, if someone was to come in late, they might feel very like anxious, like, oh my gosh, like, everyone's looking at me, they're they're judging me, like, or if you wanted to get another piece of pizza or a drink, they might say, no, I'm not gonna do that, like, everyone's gonna look around and then judge me and things like that. So it's, and some people kind of already feel that way, or I know in some cultures it also, like, is considered rude, especially in a school or work situation, when someone is talking and presenting material and learning, that they don't want to fully get up. But this is something that they would kind of like, they feel like maybe like their heart really pounding, like while they're walking into the room or while they're walking around the room. Starting conversations is also something difficult for someone with social anxiety disorder, even with a friend or a loved one. Just starting a conversation is hard for them because they have that fear of being judged, they have that fear of social situation. So just starting a conversation, like I said, even with a friend, is a bit difficult for them. Ordering food, like we talked about, going to the cashier who's a stranger, who's a new person, ordering food, maybe it's healthy, maybe it's not, things like that, like wondering about if they're going to be judged.
I think you should also add sending food back, because I have a friend that she gets the wrong order. It doesn't matter if there's something allergic. If she's allergic to something on the plate, she will not send it back because, oh, then I have to tell the waitress and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so things like that, ordering food, like, a lot of it is the fact that it interferes in your personal life. So, like, if you were to order food from a restaurant and eat food, like, most people have that normal activity with friends and family, for them it's something that's really difficult. Like you said, ordering food and even sending it back, that interaction is difficult and hard for them. But that's also interesting too to think about, like, I'm sure she's fine, but like, having that almost like little aspect of like social anxiety with food and things like that.
Yeah, she'll just eat it. Like, she'll push the stuff to the side and she'll just eat it. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I guess she has social anxiety disorder.
Yeah, or just obviously maybe not in general, but or just maybe with that aspect of things like, food wise or things like that.
I mean, she did mention, like, I don't want them to spit in it, but okay, like, you're not being rude and you're like, hey, I didn't want cheese, this has cheese, can I have one without cheese?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we're saying, like, for us, it's really easy for us to, like, say things like that, like, I paid $10 for this cheeseburger, and I didn't want onions, why is there an onion on it, or vice versa, I'm allergic to cheese, let me not touch that.